Dumelang sanibonani. Hello everybody. My name is Ntabiseng Wejana and I'm a spiritual medium. I would love for us to talk about going back to your roots, right? I've been dealing with people who come and they are total spiritual newbies, right? And I embrace them all. I love them all. Sometimes I am just in awe as to, Madam, I don't do these things. You know how I feel about these things. But anyway, we are here. It's my calling, and I'm serving. I love you. I want us to talk about going back to your roots. Now, we are normally from very different religious denomination. We've been schooled differently. We have been indoctrinated quite differently. And suddenly you are minding your own business, you are happy, you are living your best life, and then boom, you get to be dreaming of a certain grandfather, and you are just a young person in your from 1982, and you are being given dreams, and you are associating in your dreams with this person who's very, very, very old, and they ask you to unite the family. And you're like, what? Me? Why? I have all my rakadis there, I have everybody there. Why am I being the person requested to unite the family? What is that all about? And people get to say, but why me? Because spirit has free reign to use everybody for whatever they want to achieve a certain purpose, right? Now, I always say, please, 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 when it comes to ancestors, just know the right ones and stop fighting. Don't fight. Take it from your sister that has went ahead of you, please. Take it from me that has been very militant and resistant. I've shared my story with you, and it helps. It helps for you to just not go against the current. It really does help. Now, today, when I talk about going back to your roots, I mean it in the sense that you are requested to go back to the house of your grandmother or of your great grandmother and just show face, or go and have a certain ritual, or just slaughter a thing, or go have some drinks and have a party, right? Do whatever, just so that you show that we are still with you, ancestors, and we are still very much connected to your house. We are still very much connected to the roots that you gave us. Now, most of you are suffering. Most of you have lost your spiritual roots, right? You've moved on to this country, you moved on to this city, and there is nobody that is now staying at grandmother's house. There's nobody that is staying at grandmother's house. We've all migrated into different places due to work, due to I found love, due to my children goes to school in this particular area, and therefore we have moved. Or sometimes they've just been family feuds that are making it hard for you to dwell or to keep on visiting a grandfather's place or a grandmother's place. Or sometimes you find that you were siblings, and this one got married, this one got married, this one passed away, and then this one is the one that's still left at the house, but he will not grant us access to that house. Or he has shifted faiths, right? His system of belief has changed. He's now of a different creed, and he believes in other things that are not ancestral. And you would find that the grandmother comes now to haunt you in your dreams, or they're just making your own life difficult, and they're saying, go back to the roots. Why do the elders want such things? One healer explained it in the most beautiful way that I just want to share it with you as it is. What Tatu Chukuru was saying, um ancestors or your great grandfathers or your grandparents worked hard on a very minuscule salary or wage, them being domestic workers and garden people, garden people, uh, and they worked hard to build the houses that they have built. They knew that they were building legacy homes for their children and great grandchildren. They've sweated so hard just to achieve having a home and a decent home, right? They've put in their blood and sweat in those establishments. And then we get to move on with life and new opportunities, and we get all of these things, and it's nice, you know. We are growing, and then we find that after some time they are then forlorn to say, but this is my investment. Children, I did this thing for you. Children, where are you? Why have you moved from your place? Why have you moved from the dwelling that I created for you, that my husband and I created for you? And that's the reason why they want you back. Want you back for that reason, that they worked hard. Second reason is that we are black people, and when we are black people, your umbilical cord, certain things need to be done with it when you are a new babaki, and certain rituals need to be performed and to make you one with our ancestral lineage, and we would do certain things to this umbilical cord after it has fallen off between a birth and 10 days of your existence, and then we do certain things, right. And then most of us would then take this part of your cord and dig up some place in the yard, and then we place your cord there, and then we cover. And what are you now? You are one with our own existence. Literally, you are rooted in that house, in your great grandmother's house, in your grandmother's house, in your parents' house that you are later going to be moving out of because of certain things. You are literally rooted. Now you move further and further and further and further away. And when you have moved further and further away, then there's a wedge that's been, right? That's been drawn between you and your existence. And that's why a healer would look at you and say, but you have no routine. You have no roots. You have no roots. Then that is what I would then see, right? And then the other dynamic is that we have taken this house of our great grandmother and our great grandfather, and we sold it to new people. Sometimes we ask people who are of foreign nationals to come and stay at these houses. And when the gogos and the grandfathers of this home come back, they find I'm not associating. They're not even speaking the same language. What's going on there? Where are my children? And they start to look at things as if their own house has been taken over. They see this thing and there's man, this is a coup. Where are our children? And they start to wage war with wherever you are, and they start to pull you back or to destabilize your life, because the people that are residing in those establishments are not people of their own. You've sold houses, you have rented houses out, and you did not tell your ancestors what you did with their homes and their points of peace, right? Their places of peace. Now, somebody would say to me, but in time I go to their grave. So I spent all my life making this house, building this house, children being born into this house, children getting married out of this house, prayers coming into this house, libations being sent out to our ancestors from this house. And I die once. Right, I'm the entire existence, or the entire of my life, I'm in this place, and I die once, and you send me to one neighborhood there by Avalon, or West Park Cemetery, or Four Ways, and you sent me there, and you can't assume that is my home, child. child of mine, you can't assume that is my home. I've built a home for you. I've built a home for us so that it can be our own ancestral dwelling and it can be a lineage that you carry over. You can improve it, but the base remains. So, not everybody's spirit you are going to appease when you go to their graves. There are certain people who will ask, "Come to my grave, child," and say certain things. Because why? You would find that perhaps that house there is not spiritually stable. It will not work in your favor spiritually, or there are certain things that have happened in that house that are going to mar or taint whatever spiritual request that you have, right? And the ancestor would say, "But come to my grave and talk to me." Sometimes you would find that perhaps you are a child that did not grow up in that home, and you just do not know where the rest of the people are, and your grandfather shows you a grave and says, come talk to me here, come talk to me here, at my room, my new rental place. That's the grave. Then you can go there, but it is not a primary recognizable place for people that have passed on. Sometimes I've shared with you that sometimes the spirits do not even dwell in their own graves, and sometimes you'll have to go and speak to them in the veld, at the mountain, in the river, at the waterfall, right? But the spirit will direct you. But sometimes you cannot discard the family home. Ke kwakalana ya gago e wetšeng gona ke motheo wa gago. It is your foundation, where you come from, where you were declared, where you were introduced to ancestors from this place. Therefore, we make such kind of mistakes, and then ancestors would say, "Just come, show us that you still are one with us." Now, sometimes there are real reasons. We find that a uncle has married a certain woman, and a certain woman does not want us there, and we are fighting over the house. And this is a problem of ours, and we cannot access the place. And ancestors keep on saying, "But come." Then go and appeal and appease those ancestors elsewhere and say, "Go, I tried, but I can't get in." There are certain people who are residing there for these reasons. But you cannot just vamoose and go adios amigos. Such things are spiritual mistakes that we make, right? Now there are certain people who have passed on, and certain family members or neighbors would go and go and traumatize or go and haunt a loved one of ours and go visit them at the grave. Now, sometimes a person would say, a spirit would say, "My child, I know you live in Joburg. I know you live in Dubai." I think those people who have been with me for long know how much I want to be in Dubai. Guys, can you please pray for me that my ancestors allow me to serve you while I'm in Dubai? Can we? Can we? Please. I am asking for the collective prayers here. Collective prayers work. I know you are praying for my life, and you are praying for my son's life, and you are praying for my family life and everything. But can we just move to Dubai? Let's give a destination where all of this life should be happening. I beg, I beg. Jokes aside, but it's not a joke, guys. I really want to be in Dubai, ne? Please, please. Um, I'll send you stuff. Don't worry. I'll open branches. I have a beautiful support team. People who will do things from all over South Africa when I request, ne? So don't worry. My KPAs are still proper. Still proper. Now, a spirit would then be saying, "Ntabi, please tell my child that when he or she comes back from a goalie, they must come home." Say maybe you are from Dujwa, or you are from somewhere, some places that I cannot pronounce to save my life. But say you know you've migrated for a better life, and then you live in Joburg, but then you are from elsewhere. And then when you go home, ancestors will say, just come to the grave. There are people who are tampering with my grave. I understand, I see you at the house, but the place where I'm resting at, I'm really not resting because people are tampering with such places. And these are naughty people, they do what they do. But you have to make your corner clean, and that's why there's sometimes a requirement to go clean the grave, to go do certain rituals just to strengthen the person's energy there so that they can fight off people who keep on coming to them and pestering them and blocking their way of blessing you and their way of communicating better with you, right? So it is quite important to go back to your roots. And when you do go back to your roots, it's quite important to tell your ancestors that you are there. Even if sometimes you have paramount homes, ne? Paramount homes where you have everybody coming from this surname, and then over time they got married, somebody got married. But when we say our great grand, we come to this particular surname, and that is the paramount home. So even if you are from these other homes where your parents branched off to, and then your great grandparents have a paramount home that you have access to, sometimes you just go there. Sometimes you just go there and say, I'm here. I was just coming in, and do you see me? Walk with me as I go and venture into my life. I'm having kids, I'm getting married, I'm starting businesses, I'm going to preach. Bless me, bless me. But again, it is always important to understand the spiritual identity of the families that you come from, because sometimes going back to your roots can be quite detrimental. So you have to know which set of ancestors fall onto the spectrum. Which spectrum do they fall onto, the good or the bad? Sometimes these are spiritual traps, but you would know where you come from. You would know where you are running away from. Your people would know. They would have shared this with you. Thank you for coming through. Now you know why it's important. I don't know how they say it in Sizulu or Xhosa or Chivenda or Setsonga. I don't know. But sometimes that is because it is the cry of the ancestors that they have you in a certain place in order for them to say, oh, Ntabi, you're still here. Blessings, child. May the good Lord be with you. May your ancestors show off with you. May your ancestors show off through you. May your ancestors live through you. May you never, ever, ever discard the DNA that runs within you. You are born of greatness. You are from greatness, and greatness still needs to come through you. So know where you come from and teach your children so that they may not suffer like you are suffering now. Let the generation of YouTube channeling for this purpose end with you, because now your children will be coming directly to you to understand their life stories because you did the work. Go do the work. May the good Lord bless you. May you prosper abundantly. I love you.